Understanding short-term fuel trim. Short-term fuel trim begins to operate once the system enters closed loop. Short-term fuel trim is based on the upstream oxygen sensor voltage. It is used to make immediate corrections to the air-fuel mixture. Short-term fuel trim follows the O2 content. Short-term fuel trim changes as O2 voltages cross the rich, lean voltage threshold. Once O2 voltages cross this threshold, short-term fuel trim rapidly corrects injector pulse width and remains steady until the O2 sensor voltage crosses the threshold again in the opposite direction. STFT values are reset to 128 or 0% each time the key is turned off. Understanding long-term fuel trim. Long-term fuel trim works to bring short-term fuel trim as close to 0% as possible by modifying the injector pulse width. Long-term fuel trim is used for adjusting the fuel mixture once short-term fuel trim approaches the maximum limits. Long-term fuel trim is stored in memory cells in a speed density system and mass airflow system. What is total fuel trim? Short-term fuel trim plus long-term fuel trim should be plus or minus 10% for the best fuel control. Whenever components are replaced that have any effect on engine operation, fuel trim learn should be reset. Here are some facts about long-term fuel trim. Long-term fuel trim is adjusted when fuel trim learn is enabled. This occurs once the system enters closed loop. Long-term fuel trim is used for adjusting the fuel mixture once short-term fuel trim has reached its limit. Long-term fuel trim can be applied in open loop. All vehicles do not have the same number of speed and load cells. Fuel cells can range from 2 to 96 cells. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask your instructor.